The last video, we talked about 4 things you can do to remember your dreams. Today we're going to talk about 8 reasons why you might be forgetting your dreams. Hi, I'm Karen. I dream a lot, and I like to talk about dreams and dream interpretation and studying that. So join me in the comments below and let me know if you dream a lot or you don't dream quite as much. In this video, I am not going to go into the neuroscience of dreams. I'm not going to talk about how much norepinephrine is in your brain, if I said that correctly, your alpha waves or your sleep cycles. Not talking about that. I'm talking about 8 things that we do that we can change that cause us to have poor dream recall, and we can change those things and improve our dream recall. And the very number one thing that we do is we don't get enough sleep. You have to get enough sleep in order to have dreams. When you sleep in the night, each sleep cycle gets longer, and therefore each dream gets longer, and it's easier to remember because it moves away from short-term memory into a longer-term memory area, and therefore you can remember it when you wake up. So you need to get 6 hours or more sleep a night. If you sleep less than 6 hours, you're probably not going to remember your dreams. You're going to be tired. You will not have had enough time to have remembered the dream. You'll dream. You always dream throughout the night. But to remember them, you need to have a good amount of sleep and be well rested. The second thing is that we don't wake up naturally. So if you have to wake up because you have an alarm clock that goes off, which most people do, me included, you don't wake up naturally, that can interrupt your memory of your dream. Now, a lot of people wake up to an alarm and they know they were dreaming and they hurry up and write it down, but the odds of forgetting it as the longer you stay awake at that point increase substantially. So having an alarm, or children that come in, or pets that come in and wake you up, or a spouse that wakes you up, all those things that wake you up, those can make it hard to remember your dreams. And it can also mean it's a challenge for you if you're wanting to remember your dreams and write them down. It's harder to take the time to write them down even because the alarm went off, or the baby is crying, or the dog needs to go, right? Because who's going to have time to sit there and write their dream down? So that is also another part of the whole not waking naturally. What you can do is on the weekend, if you're able to not set your alarm and try to wake up naturally, see if that kind of helps you to increase your dream recall by not having an interruption to your dream. The third thing we do is that we stay on our TV or our phone late at night up until lights out. And I do this all the time, and I'm a person who really, I do still dream a lot, but I kind of, I would like it to be more and I'd like to remember them for longer than the 5 minutes it takes me to write them down, but I still get on the phone and do TV. It's very hard to stop this habit, but what that does is it keeps your brain stimulated so that when you are ready to go to sleep, your brain is still having to try to calm down and rest. So it just kind of eats into your dream time and your sleep time because it's taking longer for your brain to settle down once you do actually turn off the light, if you have just been scrolling on your phone or watching video on a device. It's the blue light, the device, and the mental stimulation that kind of comes in at that point. So that can affect your dream recall, especially over time. If you're getting value from this video, please click like and let me know, and that way other people will find the video too. The fourth thing that happens that makes it hard to remember our dreams are night distractions. And this is if you have a new baby and you have to get up and feed the baby, right? If you're a caregiver of a special needs child, or you have a parent in your home that you're worried about and you have to take care of them, that's going to definitely affect your sleep. Anything affecting the quality of your sleep can affect your ability to remember your dreams. Spouses snoring, pets in the bed, and I've slept with pets in the bed, so I speak from experience. All that can affect how you remember your dreams, or even if you do remember your dreams, because it affects the quality of your sleep. So if you can minimize those are usually things that we kind of go through for a stage in our life, and so this may not be the time for you to be trying to remember your dreams if that's a big part of your life right now. But if it's something that if dreams are important to you, that's something to look at. What kind of disturbances are happening in the night? Now, kind of related to this, there's kind of this window. Some people who tend to wake a little bit more often in the night naturally, not because of some external thing, but just their body kind of wakes up more in the night, they tend to remember more dreams. So there's kind of this, not too much, not too little, but this little window of space in the middle is where you tend to remember your dreams more. The fifth thing that causes us to maybe not remember our dreams as much is if we heard as a child that dreams were not important, or if our parents told us quite a lot that it's just a dream. Now, if you heard this like one time, you had a nightmare one time and your parents said, oh, don't worry, it's just a dream, it's not quite as likely that you will have been like, okay, I'm not going to remember my dreams anymore, right? But if you heard that a lot and your parents didn't know what to do about the fact that you had dreams that you were sharing with them, or if they were like, I don't want to hear about your dreams, it's just a dream, it's not important. If you were told that message a lot, then it's very probable that as an adult, you are now not remembering your dreams because you were taught that they weren't important and they weren't worth paying attention to. We pay attention to things that we feel are important, and if you are now coming to a space where you're like, actually, I do want to pay attention to my dreams, then that's a kind of mental block that you can explore and look at what was the messaging I got around dreams when I was growing up. Is that something I want to rewire and change? And you can change that, and that can help improve your dream recall. Now, related to this is number 6, and that is if you had nightmares as a child. Like, I have had a few people that I've talked to who were like, I don't remember my dreams now, but when I was a kid, I had pretty bad nightmares. They probably found a way internally, subconsciously, to suppress their dream recall and their memory of the nightmares because they were so scary. So a lot of times people with that tend to not want to remember their dreams. So you're probably not watching this video if that's who you are, but you might be. And if that's the case, there's actually a lot that can be done to help cure nightmares. It depends on the kind of nightmare, but there's actually a lot of things that you can do, and I'll talk about that in another video. There's medications you can take, but there's also some therapies that really help a lot with nightmare. People don't really talk to their doctors about the fact that they have nightmares because they feel like, well, everybody has nightmares and I shouldn't talk to my doctor. But if you are having nightmares, and I don't mean just standard occasional run-of-the-mill nightmares, but like more very common nightmares, definitely talk to your doctor about that, or your therapist if you have one. There are things you can do. You don't have to just suffer. You certainly don't have to be afraid to fall asleep. So just want to put that out there. We'll cover that in another video. If you do have nightmares and you know that you had them as a child, now you're an adult and you're like, you know what, I do want to remember my dreams. There are other types of dreams besides nightmares, and there's some really cool dreams, right? So I did do a video on the 12 types of dreams that I see. There's different categories, but I picked out 12 that to me are the most common, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below. The 7th thing that can affect your dream recall is alcohol. No surprise, right? Alcohol is a depressant. It can suppress brain chemistry in certain ways that also affect your dream recall and your sleep. So if you do think, oh, I'm going to drink a glass of wine before bed, like to go to sleep, like that's kind of maybe not a good idea if you're wanting to, work on your dream recall. And the last thing, number 8, is medications. So this includes anything from a sleep medication like Ambien or Tylenol PM or something like that that's going to affect your sleep, as well as even things like antihistamines and tranquilizers and things like that. It's going to affect your dream recall. Some medicines will give you more vivid dreams that you will remember. So there is that too. And I don't have off the top of my head, oh, these dreams will suppress your dream recall and these dreams will give you more vivid dreams that you remember. But I do know that things like Ambien, pain relievers that will affect your sleep, those can affect your dream recall. But if you have to take those because you're having issues with sleep, take them. I mean, I've gone through a stage in my life where I had to take sleep medications. I don't remember the names of them at this point. It was a few years ago. I was going through what I call my big year of bad things, where a lot of bad things happened in one year, and this was pre-COVID, so pandemic was not in that. And I had this experience where I kept waking up in the night, and I don't mean like, oh, I had insomnia and I couldn't get back to sleep. No, I would wake up and I'd go back to sleep, and I would wake up and I would go back to sleep, and I would wake up and I would go back to sleep, and this would happen like 100 times an hour is how it felt. That's how it felt. And I would also dream that I was, that startle awake. I would startle awake all night, and I would have dreams of being, of tripping and falling, and it was terrible. And even talking about it right now, my anxiety levels are starting to raise. And I went 3 nights with that and was like, this can't last. Talked to my doctor and definitely got on medication. I was desperate. I was ready to take whatever she prescribed. It worked for a bit and then it didn't. And then so we switched to another and that worked for a bit and then it didn't. And then we switched to another. So that is definitely something that happens. We go through stages like that. I didn't give a rat's butt about dreams at that point. All I wanted was to sleep through the night. And so once I got past whatever that all was, definitely anxieties and panic attacks kind of stuff was happening as well. But I was on, the one that was the most effective was an antihistamine, actually, because an antihistamine does make you sleepy. And so the antihistamine is what I was taking, and that was definitely affecting my dream recall. So medicines can affect your dream recall too. If you do want to remember your dreams, try to remove as many of these 8 things as you can. And then I also have a video on 4 things you can do to help remember your dreams. So until I see you again, sweet dreams.